America is often called the land of the free, and yet it has more prisoners than any other country in the world. Mass incarceration is not just a criminal justice issue, it is a financial, social, economic, and moral crisis. The current sentencing policies trap millions of people in a cycle of punishment without rehabilitation. I've spent time researching mass incarceration, and the more I've learned, the more I believe the system is unjust. Today, I argue sentence reform is a necessary and realistic step towards fixing mass incarceration in the United States. The current sentencing laws have led to an overcrowded prison system, and they negatively impact all of us, financially, socially, and morally. There are legal reforms that can reduce incarceration without compromising public safety. Some statistics reflect these findings. The U.S. houses 5% of the world's population, but 25% of the world's prisoners. Harsh sentencing laws like mandatory minimums, truth in sentencing, and the 3 strikes law have led to long sentences for nonviolent offenses, prison overcrowding, and disproportionate imprisonment of people of color. A 2022 report by the Brennan Center of Justice shows 40% of people in U.S. prisons are there without public safety justification. This means they would be better served in an alternative program instead of prison. Even if you or someone you know has not been incarcerated, you are paying for this system. Taxpayers pay over $80 billion each year on incarceration. Over-incarceration destabilizes families and communities, fueling poverty, unemployment, and homelessness. The stigma around having a criminal record makes it harder for criminals to re-enter society and often leads to more crime. This is a picture of Sharanda Jones. She's a small business owner and single mother from Texas who is convicted for a federal drug conspiracy related to crack cocaine. She's a first-time nonviolent offender who was sentenced to a life in a maximum security prison with no possibility of parole. After 16 years behind bars, President Barack Obama released her on clemency. Her case is not unique and reflects a broader pattern in the U.S. justice system. Nonviolent low-level offenders receive extreme sentences due to mandatory minimum laws. It also illustrates how incarceration is not just about locking people up, but destroying people based on outdated policies that don't take into consideration individual context. Let's look at how to solve the problem. We need a legal solution that prioritizes proportionality, fairness, and rehabilitation. Federal and state level policies should repeal mandatory and minimum sentencing laws so that judges have discretion and consider individual contexts. We should also offer alternative sentencing laws for nonviolent offenders like drug court, mental health treatment, or community service rehabilitation. We should also apply retroactive resentencing, which would allow people facing long sentences under outdated policies to be reviewed. States that have implemented sentencing that reduces prison populations have also seen a reduction in crime rates. According to Pew Charitable Trust, states that reduced incarceration by 10% over the last decade have seen crime drop more than those who didn't. The National Academy of Sciences study found no evidence linking long-term sentences to a reduction in crime rate. It often leads to reoffending. Some believe harsh sentences keep us safe, but evidence shows otherwise. Long sentences do not deter crime. They often make it worse. So let's rethink what justice means. Today we've looked at how harsh sentences have fueled the crisis of mass incarceration in the United States. We've seen how the system disproportionately punishes nonviolent offenses, people like Sharanda Jones, trapping individuals and families in a cycle of poverty, trauma, and lost potential. And we've explored how sentence reform can reduce prison populations, cut costs, and improve lives without compromising public safety. Whether it has affected you personally or not, you're part of a society that pays each year to lock people up, often unnecessarily. Those resources could be better used for education, healthcare, or mental health support instead of perpetuating a broken system. We can't afford to stay silent while lives waste behind bars for mistakes that can be treated, not punished. Support lawmakers who advocate for reform and speak up when you see injustice.